Welcome back to Instant Anime.
Just Add Music.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Sarah.
Thanks for joining us. This is your first time listening to the Instant Anime Podcast. This is the one where Sarah and I listen to a song and then make an anime for it.
All right, that one.
Oh, what we've done today is listen to the song Lovesick by April and made our own individual animes for it. We took 5 minutes, which is what makes it instant as a cup of noodles or an instant noodle type thing.
Yep.
And we were like, April, Lovesick, it's a theme song for our own individual animes.
And here it is.
And then we combine them into a mega anime, which is when we take bits of both of our ideas and smash them into one greater product.
I always picture it like shuffling two like card decks. Or when you've split the deck and you're like shuffling them together.
Yeah, I think we are using the same cards, but no repeats, except when you get the free deck of cards from like Vegas or something, right? I don't know. That's like if the show ever ends is when we both have the same deck of cards that we pull from.
I mean, last episode we had the same words for the title.
That's true. We both had like the jokers we pulled out right at the end.
Wait, you're not supposed to have these in here.
But once again, Lovesick by April is the song we're using. If you have the chance to listen to it, we recommend doing so. We provide a link in the podcast description if you can click that. Otherwise, it's available on Spotify or search it up using whatever search engine you feel necessary.
We've never, ever listed one in particular.
No, just one that we used a lot. And it has a word. It's kind of a made-up word.
Probably.
Either way, I'm going to start with my idea for
do.
Lovesick by April. April, all caps. I don't know if it stands for anything.
April.
You know, like, against teens with...
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Like BTS?
Yeah.
Which has changed.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
Beyond the scenes, isn't it? And it was the bottom. Anyway.
I don't know. Either way. Have you ever fallen in love so hard it feels like you're actually falling?
Ouch.
In the case of our protagonists, they fall, and they fall hard, for a skydiving instructor.
Oh.
Too bad they have a deathly fear of heights. Will they be able to get off the ground once they're inevitably asked to go skydiving with their new crush, who is very interested in them? How long can they keep up the ruse that they'd be okay with plummeting to the earth, when they obviously are not okay with that? Of course, they decide to go on a quick flight for an outing/date and have to face their greatest fear, and to keep the one they love from knowing that that is, in fact, their fear.
Wait a minute. So did the flight, like, have an issue and they had to jump in a parachute? Or they, like, purposefully went skydiving?
Maybe. Do they successfully skydive and then reveal their fear to their crush? Or do they bail on the date and start at square one with someone who maybe isn't a skydiving instructor? This is a comedy series where the protagonist comes up with hilarious ways to make themselves look courageous when facing their one fear.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm sorry that I interjected a question.
That's okay. I did not have an answer for you.
I noticed. I asked this or this and you said maybe.
So,
which actually, peek behind the curtain, happens often in our day-to-day lives. I will ask this or this, and he'll just say yes, which never is helpful.
No. Usually it's because I'm not listening.
This is very, very true. But you're trapped now. You have to listen to me.
It's true.
And so I'm going to use that to my advantage and share my idea if you're all good on yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes? Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Where are we? Who am I?
I like your idea, for the record.
Thank you.
I think it's funny that yours involved a fear because mine also has a mild fear mentioned. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's why I'm excited to like share.
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
Like, hey, there's something. If you're ready.
An initial connection.
An initial, yeah.
I'm there.
Okay. Have you ever dreamed of being a Disney princess? Ever wanted woodland creatures to help you get dressed? Ever wanted to place your worth and bet your future on some guy you just met? Well, neither has our main character. But too bad. Meet our newest real-life Wisney princess, who happens to be terrified of woodland creatures and has no interest in being royal whatsoever.
Hey, there's the fear.
There it
I
is.
found it.
Because the little like part of the song where it's like, yeah, I just pictured like a chorus of mice being like, yay,
That's where I got the skydiving part.
princess, and then the main character's like, oh hell no.
I hear ya.
When our main character is brought to the real Wisneyland, they discover they are a long-lost princess, and they are expected to live their own fairy tale and then live happily ever after, giving children everywhere another cookie-cutter story. But maybe it's time to break the mold.
Moldy cookies.
Okay.
Gross.
I'm not going for that. But, some of those stories, a little bit moldy.
I think I really only made cookies from like a mold or print like maybe 1 or 2 times. It was usually for like a holiday or something.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty common to roll them out and press them.
Otherwise, chocolate chip all the way, baby.
Yeah,
Roll them
when
in a ball.
it's good, it's good.
Who needs other than like a flat circular cookie,
I will say I have from a Reddit gift exchange, Animal Crossing.
What a throwback.
I know, it was a while ago. I have like the leaf, the Animal Crossing leaf with the little bite taken out of it.
It was a 3D printed one, right?
I have that cookie cutter, and I have actually never used it because I forgot about it until this moment.
That person will totally listen to this episode and be upset with you.
Well, I got other really cool stuff, and I appreciated it at the time, but
true.
actually I didn't have a rolling pin until maybe like a year ago.
That's also
so
true.
It got tucked away, and I forgot about it.
And you didn't have the guides for the rolling pin either.
It's true, because, I'm not that great at rolling things evenly, but now I have help. And, shout out to all you French rolling pin fans out there.
Oh, yeah. It's the way to do it.
I mean, I like it better. That thing spinning in the middle just doesn't help anybody.
I think I broke my mom's one.
That spun? Or
That was like handles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I broke the shit out of that.
did you, like, beat someone? How did you break it?
I just am a destructive person.
You know what? That's true. I
On
shouldn't
accident,
ask.
though.
I shouldn't ask. You tend to have...
Like, I have friends
opposite of the
who,
Midas
when I
touch.
was growing up, would, like, destroy things for fun. And I would destroy things on accident. Realize it was sort of fun, but also...
Like, oh, I shouldn't.
It was offhandedly that I realized this.
That's probably safe.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
How do you want to combine
Yeah.
fear of skydiving with fear of woodland creatures and Wisney princess?
Did you like that?
Yeah, Walt Wisney.
Walt Wisney.
Dalt Wisney.
Dalt Wisney. There we go. Dalton Wisney.
Dalton Wisney of the Wisney Company.
Gonna have to make a sim later with
Oh,
the
man.
name.
Dalton Wisney.
It's pretty damn
It's
good.
really good.
Actually, I'm gonna write
I
this
like
down.
that to like not have copyright. You just put a W in front of anything.
Well, wasn't it backward Disney or whatever?
Backwards Disney.
Yeah.
That's a ProZD thing.
So there you go.
I don't know if it is
that.
a ProZD thing, but he also acknowledged this.
That is where I know it from.
Backwards
So.
Disney, you got Whack-Donalds, you got Winstagram.
So I just went ahead and made Wisney because it sounded more fun than other things.
I like Wisney.
Cool. I do too.
Especially if it's WHIZ.
It can be. It wasn't when I wrote it down,
And then
but
it's P.
no one needs to know. Cool. Yeah, I just, in mine, I heard the, like, woodland creatures. I heard this, like, princessy thing, and then just
The
imagined...
high-pitched sort of cheering on someone who does not need to be cheered on.
Yeah, they just, I guess it's, somehow they get sucked into the fairy tale land where all the books are real and all those characters, like, exist. And they're just like, cool, so you expect me to just be, like, the next one and live out another fairy tale where some guy saves me, blah, blah, blah.
Wasn't
which,
there
I
a
don't know.
bit in, like, the Wreck-It Ralph movie, too, where she, like, goes... It was in all of the trailers where she, like, hangs out with all the Disney princesses, and it's like, y'all have mental problems.
Yeah, there was...
Y'all need therapy.
I think there was something like that.
Where they're like, we get kidnapped and beaten and put to sleep.
I think it was a little bit more veiled, but yes.
Yeah.
No, that's...
Wasn't for the kids.
No, it was for us.
That was for Sarah Silverman.
Yes, it was. But something similar, where, it's like everyone's living, quote-unquote, happily ever after, but our main character's like, what? And my first thought was kind of a made out of this world situation where maybe it's a guy even.
Oh, yeah.
Who's like even further from like, I don't want to do this.
The male Disney princess.
Exactly. But, it could be anyone who doesn't believe in the heteronormative things that fairy tales have tried to teach us.
It's always good.
So, anyhow, tried to leave that open-ended, but my first thought was like, oh, made out of this world. Because that was a fun romp.
That was a good episode.
That was a fun one.
I like that one.
So, anyhow.
Go listen to Made Out of This World.
Yeah, it's
who knows what
back.
episode?
Oh,
it's way back there.
I want to say it was like we've had 3 journals now of ideas at this point.
We're on the 3rd one?
Mm-hmm. So I want to say it was journal 1.
Probably journal 1.
Season 1? Is that what we go by?
Oh, yeah.
We're in season 3 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad they're not the same journals. They don't have the same number of pages.
No.
No, we can't even.
That's fine.
Yeah.
There's many
I'm sorry.
seasons.
They're notebooks. Journals make them sound secretive, but we share them.
They're secretive until we share them.
That's true. It's the journal that turns into a notebook.
Yes.
It's magical.
Wow.
Kind of like a princess. Okay. So, a fear of creatures versus a fear of skydiving.
Yeah, mine has not necessarily a heteronormative relationship, but it has like the sort of love story vibe.
For sure. And I wanted mine to be like, you expect me to just let this dude save me and call it good? Like,
right.
Heck no. So.
It sounds sort of like your person falls into this world or, ends up in this world and then is in trouble and sort of gets saved, but like they weren't in enough trouble to warrant them like owing their life to this person who saves them, basically.
Mm-hmm. Because
where
in
everyone else is like, you're married now.
Be like, wow, thank you. Like, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. And then they're just like leaning in for a kiss, and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa, whoa.
Yeah. It's kind of like the reward does not match the task given, where someone like stops you from getting wet by a car or whatever, and you're like, wow, thanks, that's great. I really would have messed up my day. And then they're like, will you?
And be like, shall we go get coffee now?
And it's like, no, I'm good. I was actually heading to coffee already.
Yeah,
for
I'm
a
going
friend.
to work. I've got meetings. I just really appreciate it. I had a presentation.
Yeah. It's very predatory and
it can be.
Yeah.
It absolutely
princely.
Can be.
They're just like out gallivanting, looking for people to do this to.
If you do happen to have a quote unquote meet cute and you find the person attractive and you're like, hey, would you, ha ha ha.
Does that happen?
In movies, apparently. But
in reality?
I feel like.
You better not be outside.
You better not be outside at all. But I feel like that could happen. People meet randomly, like at a bar or wherever, and just be like, hey, do you want to go get a coffee? I don't know. I feel like that could happen.
Yeah. Are you on Tinder?
Yeah, that's normal. I feel like you don't ask that person.
Right, because isn't Tinder all about randomness?
No,
like it just
not
gives you
necessarily.
A cue. Oh, can you like look someone up on Tinder? I don't know.
I don't either. I think it's like connected to someone's Facebook or like Instagram. Like it has to be somewhat a real person.
That makes sense.
I mean, obviously there's ways around that, but anyhow. Yeah, it's not a great move, but I feel like in college, there would be people that would like sit down and just like start talking to you at like a
get up and leave
cafe or something. I have a very embarrassing moment that I remember where I was trying to get to class. I was eating something and I crammed like the last of it in my mouth, and of course someone came up and was like, "Hey, da da da," and I was just like chewing, and they literally said like, wow, you must have taken a really big bite, and I wanted to die.
And then you choked
and then
you
I was
died.
like, I have to go to class, bye.
You died at that moment.
I may have. That might have been it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I have such an active imagination.
Your body's lying there on the ground with a choking bit in there.
That was like 10 years ago now too.
Look at you go.
Wow.
10 years of this.
Surprised I didn't imagine other things,
of
honestly.
This. Of all of this.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
But anyhow,
so yeah,
don't be creepy.
Mine is less predatory, but it does have the sort of like lying aspect in terms of keeping a fear from someone when they should be knowing this up front. But it's turned into this sort of comedy. But the funny thing is I even acknowledge now, having written it, I'm like, it's sort of just toxic to or just not productive to a relationship to be like, the whole thing that you do is one of my biggest things, and not just say that and have it not be
Unless
veiled.
it was a thing where the person was trying to get over it and they actively wanted to do it.
Like they were in therapy the day before.
Yeah, like
and-
maybe they were in a plane accident
and
or
someone
something.
told them to do it.
And they're like,
to face their fear.
You've gotten to a point in our sessions where I think it's time for you to like try going on a plane and then eventually maybe try skydiving and really like say, F you, gravity, like we're gonna be okay. You know, that whole exposure therapy thing. And so then they just happen to meet someone and it kind of kicks that into overdrive. At least it's a slightly healthier way.
Yeah.
But I blame all sorts of things, Wisney and otherwise. Like, big rom-com fan. But if you internalize that stuff, that's why I'm now thinking, like, I guess it would be really creepy to have someone just come up and be like, hey, we ran into each other. Haha, want to go get coffee? Like, that is uncomfortable. Yeah. But in my brain, I'm like, oh, yeah, I saw it with, like, you know, Cameron Diaz, and it was fine. So...
Yeah. Well, see, that's the trouble
upsetting.
is when you're writing something, or if, like, you know, people who are writing rom-coms or something, these are their experiences that they've lived, but they have to tweak them up to be an enjoyable experience.
Mm-hmm. And meet those standards. Like, it's literally called a meet cute. It has a name. We expect it in this form of media.
In how close it is to reality, who knows?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's sort of one of those things where if you detach it from the thing that it actually is, then it can be whatever you need it to be for TV, movie, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have to worry about personal safety, if someone can afford where they live, all those. You just suspend disbelief.
And you have to, because I just think the point of movies isn't to be the most realistic thing.
Unless it's like a documentary or sometimes indie films.
And that's not, and yeah, I guess it again depends on the genre. But if you're thinking of a blockbuster rom-com popular movie that people want to go pay and see,
it's not realistic.
It does not need to be.
Yeah.
It's an escapism, which is great, which is what we're here to provide.
Yep.
With our funny rom-com,
skydiving princess.
Skydiving princess. Something like that.
Okay. So I think we kind of have to decide if it's going to be in Disneyland, the like fairy tale world, or if it's going to be more based in reality.
Hey, okay. I like it.
I feel like
you
that's
already
where I
had
need
a
to start.
fear of woodland creatures, and I had a fear of heights and skydiving or whatever.
Which, before you continue, I feel like it could very easily be the birds are trying to, like, fly the princess around.
I don't think that's even necessary.
Okay.
I think our protagonist has a slight fear of everything.
Ah.
So they are in Disneyland, where it is sort of magical, mystical, fairy tale.
And do we want it to be, like, another land, or just literally, like, a theme park that they have a
I
job
think we've
in?
sort of made it an isekai, where things do happen in this reality, or multiverse, you know,
Yeah, I
that
just
don't
wanna
normally
check.
happen where they're from. And so they have a slight fear of everything. They don't like woodland creatures. They don't like tight spaces. They don't like heights. They don't like skydiving. They don't like the idea of so many things. Then going to this magical, mystical land, things are less scary. Things are like
Everything's kind of
like a theme park.
Vaseline-coated lens.
Exactly. You can't really get hurt here. There are enemies and dragons and wizards and stuff, but they can't really hurt you if you're the princess or the protagonist.
Chosen and you have knights that are fighting to save you and all that.
So it is an isekai in that they are transported to this other world, but they were already afraid of everything, sort of in a realistic sense, in their own world, because a lot of things could hurt them, and they have trauma from
something.
Whatever. And they get to this new world. They still have all of that built up stuff, but then this is the now journey of them finding someone who sort of is manipulative in the sort of princey way, and then following them maybe for a bit, and then switching over to someone who embodies what they had feared most in something in the other world, but they like them more than this predatory prince character.
Okay.
And then it's like sort of a love triangle-y thing.
But instead of love, the first predatory prince just feels like they have like a claim of possession over this new princess.
Yes. And it's even a
where
step
it's just
further.
like, well, that's just how it's done. You need to be with me. You need to be my wife.
They save them from like a muddy, puddle or something.
Well, we could consider how they get there. It could be like a Wizard of Oz situation where something flies in and it's like, I saved you from
da da da. Yeah. But I think the main thing is this prince character sort of, I think, would try to go really hard into overcoming their fears without taking into account like how crippling it is to have this many like anxieties about different things.
Okay.
And so they do sort of have this infatuation with this new person and direct sort of want and
Is it
need.
kind of a Gaston situation where it's like playing hard to get, they think?
I think
the person's just like, no, I'm just not interested in you.
I think it's very Gaston, but the fear this person has doesn't allow them to communicate that they don't want to be with them, so they sort of just go along even though it's fucking terrifying to them.
Okay.
So that's when this other like blacksmith character or someone who does not take claim exactly, and I could go a little that way, maybe a little Princess Bride action, maybe.
I mean,
it's always good to have a little popper boy.
Yes.
Handsome Carrie Elways, why not?
God, so
young Carrie Elways,
so cute,
so good. But yeah, there's like this sort of toxic relationship that they get. And the prince has, again, the blinders where they don't see it as toxic because it's just the way that they interact with everyone. And they're like a prince, so it has that sort of like, if you marry me, you're royalty and you
Why wouldn't you want that?
The kingdom and blah, blah, blah. So I think that does that fit something you would want to go to with yours?
Yeah. When you say that they just go along with them, are they adventuring? Have they been brought into like the kingdom and they're just like hanging out?
Could
like
be
they
whatever.
Have a place to
I think
stay?
kingdom makes sense.
I think so too. I also kind of like the idea that at some point they get really fed up with the fact that there's like bubble wrap or like training wheels, that kind of a feeling.
Yeah.
That they try and do something outwardly dangerous because they've just, I don't know if they've conquered their fears or they're just so frustrated with everything that's going on. They like actually try something that is dangerous and then they're fine because something again swoops in to save them and they're like, this is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
I kind of like that idea.
I like that too because it's them overcoming their fears, but then this land preventing them from actually growing.
Yeah.
I like that.
So they start out having been saved by this person that they're very grateful to because they don't realize at first that, when in accepting the invitation to stay on the court or whatever, it's like, oh, so you guys are like courting then. Yeah. You're going to get married.
Yeah.
He saved you. How romantic.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, wait, what? But it takes too long for them to realize. So they've kind of been drawn in, they've been invited to dinners and, maybe a dance or something. And they're like, okay, cool. This is weird, but like neat. I'm making some friends.
Yeah. I do have an idea.
All right.
They come in, whatever, Wizard of Oz style.
Yeah.
But it's the very like cliche sand quicksand pit.
Yes.
And they're falling in and it seems very dangerous and they're saved so valiantly by the prince. And then they feel really good about that because they're like, wow, that was so great. But then they realize they see all the like bubble wrap and whatever. And they go back to the quicksand pit and like stand in it and just like hit the bottom like 2 feet past where they were. And they're like, yo, what? This was nothing? This was all just sort of like a game to you? And then they have this like big turnaround moment.
I like that idea too.
Or the blacksmith sort of not princely character shows them all the like broken parts.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be interesting if this blacksmith character or whatever they end up being also came from the world of the newcomer. And has just been there. maybe even from a young age, something happened. It could be a plane crash. You know, we could pull that in. Where they did have to like parachute. Yeah, why not? I'm sure no one will mind on ABC. I don't remember. CBS, NBC,
broadcasting channel.
That show channel. But you know, maybe they both got here the same way. One was really young, has just kind of like found their place, grown up in it.
Yeah.
And so when the first person, you know, meets this second person, and the second person's like, how? But it's just there. You can't do anything. It's just what it is. Aren't you frustrated? And they kind of are like, yeah, I haven't really thought about it because I got here when I was really young or something. And then together they can try and help. I guess it becomes a hero's-y journey sort of thing where they break that cookie cutter mold and try and show another side where you don't have to be saved by a scary prince.
I'm about it.
And I still, if you're okay with it, I like the idea that this is then a story. Like they eventually get back to their original world.
Oh, totally.
And it's like a known story. It's one of the fairy tales is like, oh yeah, this one like came in and like, you know, told the prince, no, you're evil. And I'm going to save myself and I'm going to save your subjects and they won't have to listen to you anymore. And they can take risks and grow from it and all that kind of stuff.
I like that. And it ends up being a storybook that they were telling their grandchild.
There you go. Done and done.
Oh, the kissing part.
Oh, man. I love him. I really do.
It's a good movie.
Why am I forgetting his name?
I don't remember it either.
Oh, man. The kid from the Wonder Years.
Little Danny something.
This is going to drive me nuts, but it's fine.
Who knows? This is good. I do like this. It's got plenty of what I need in it from mine.
I feel like we should have it somehow related to heights, falling, skydiving.
I think
that's how they got there. That's what they're afraid of. That's what they try and do to be dangerous.
I don't want it to be that they were in a plane crash that transports them to another world, but maybe as a nod to like, it's still in Lost.
Why else would you like fall?
Look, fine, it's not Lost, but sort of plane crashy, hot air balloon. They were up in the sky.
And they
trying to conquer a fear, and something bad happens where they plummet into this new world.
Okay.
That's fine with me. I don't need to nail down what it was, a blimp or something, you know.
I just think it'd be neat if the thing that got them there is the thing that they try to do to prove that, like, no matter how erratically, how dangerous they act, they will be okay because of the rules of this world, this kingdom. So if they, like, fall out a window.
Yeah.
Like that.
I feel like a lot of like brutal shit happens to them while they're in this world, but like there are no consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All unscathed.
And so they're terrified, and then they're like, "Wait, I'm okay." But they know that they're not like in reality. Like reality.
Like this should not be okay.
Yeah.
I should have like broken a leg or something.
Yeah. And like everyone who lives there is like, "What? No, I never crack or like I'm fine.
It's fine.
Everything's fine." And they like, look, little Jimmy's jumping off the roof again, and he bounces on some like gelatinous cube or whatever.
What do they call them? The hay carts in like, Assassin's Creed.
He does a fucking Assassin's Creed jump.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm good, guys.
Yay!
Life's a video game.
Yay!
Yeah. These people are not allowed in the real world.
No, it's kind of reminding me of like Adventure Time. They're all made of candy or something.
Yeah, it's the Candy Kingdom.
There you go.
Yeah. No, this is good, though.
But they shouldn't be in the real world because it's all a story anyhow. Mm-hmm. In fact, maybe we should define it as they, like, somehow fell into a book.
Sure.
So that, you know, it can't hurt them because it's literally a made-up storyland.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay.
I don't need it to be reality in any way, shape, or form.
Cool.
But I want it to be, like, a cool moral story of
I'm kind of picturing a lot of watercolors.
Sure.
Like the backgrounds are like really watercolor,
like
and like
Winnie
fade
the Pooh style.
Exactly. Yeah. Kind of like fade at the edges.
Why not?
You know, just make it really apparent that we don't have to go full Winnie the Pooh where they're like reading the story from the book.
We wouldn't do that.
Hopping along.
We're not keeping it from the audience, but it is like
there are definitely
it's
nods.
Obvious enough that they're not in a like real thing.
Yeah.
But it's real to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool.
That's the hope, is write a story that feels real, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Are you happy with this?
I'm super happy with this.
Cool.
This is cool.
I think so too.
What do you think the title words should be? I think we're there.
Yeah, I think so.
We've established like 3 main characters in the arc, basically. So
That they are welcomed in. They don't realize what they're getting into. They have to break out. They have to break everybody out. And they
don't break people out of the reality, but they break people out of the cycle of...
That's what I meant, yeah.
Torture. But not torture, just like bad stuff.
Just like the fact that, you should be injured from what you've done. Yeah. And there's some weird thing going on where you're not.
I think
maybe they don't age, like maybe.
Whoa, okay. There's something with like a guillotine, sort of like, like the executioner style thing, or maybe I don't know. Like maybe there isn't a need for an executioner, but the thing with a guillotine would be like it just bounces off.
Well, they could have a sword fight.
Yeah. Have at you.
The princely person at the beginning is like fighting off some invader, and it looks like, oh, they had a triumphant win, but they just like stand up and like walk away. The loser is just like
dust themselves off.
See you next week, Carl.
Yeah.
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 And it's just all kind of a ruse.
I think that would be a fun thing again.
Oh, actually that makes sense.
What?
If it's a story that's waiting to be written, they would just continue to do the same sort of things until the story took off.
And this main character
is the princess
is
that's
the
supposed
story.
to do the story.
Yeah.
But it's not, the story is supposed to be, oh, the prince saves them and they live happily ever after in this court. Ta-da. But it's like, oh, wait a minute. It's kind of breaking our storyline.
I like the idea that the audience is well aware that all of this stuff is happening, but the prince is whisking this person off so quickly that you see in the scene the guy's on the ground crumpled and he looks dead after the sword fight.
And then you see him like move.
You see the prince and the princess, whatever.
Princess to be, yeah.
Princess to be, male, female, it doesn't really matter.
Nope. They are called a princess because that's how it goes.
Yes.
There aren't other options.
At this point, I think it's a male.
Are you leaning towards?
Yeah.
I just want someone who doesn't, I guess, identify as female.
Yeah, I think, let's go with that.
Let's go with that.
They could be NB, it don't matter. They are off screen and you see the person get up and it's like, coast clear, and they like dust themselves off and walk off. And like all this stuff happens in the
I love
view.
the idea that they like use their sword to like help them get up. Like they're a little stiff.
Yeah.
They did fall, but they're just like, oh, okay. And then they wander off. Yeah.
Like the audience is well aware and shown all of these things.
Some nice dramatic irony.
Yeah, like somebody shovels quicksand back into the pit or whatever, and like all this stuff happens, but the princess character is
being whisked
away.
Yeah, they don't know what they've been agreeing to this whole time.
And so there's sort of this like moment in time where, the blacksmith character, someone who was from the previous reality, is like, oh yeah, like, look, and they shoot an arrow at someone and it hits them in the chest, and they're like, oh, it's fine.
It's got the little like suction cup on the end.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that.
And I did want it to be funny. I did want it to keep the comedic element. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, totally. But it has, again, with comedy, you can really Adam Sandler it, and not that
get serious.
Not that he's the only one who ever does this, but clever comedy writing generally has like a point to it that hits you good.
Just like that arrow.
Yeah.
But you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm totally good on this now.
Cool.
Let's do title words. One being fairy tale word.
Okay.
Other one being fear word.
The fear of fairy tales. Sure.
All right. You want to do a fairy tale word first or a fear word first?
I'll start with fear, I guess.
Enter a fairy tale land. 3, 2, 1. Unrealistic.
Paralyzing.
Oh. Fear is hard.
Fear is hard. It's scary.
It's scary. Speaking of scary, 3, 2, 1. Scared.
Fantasy.
Scared
fantasy.
Bad.
Is that like a Madonna song?
We did bad. What about something where, I don't know, just one word, saved? Like question mark?
Oh, that's funny because I was thinking like saving the princess.
Right.
Or like saving the kingdom, but in like a different way.
Yeah.
So same vibe.
Just like saved?
I think that's a movie that we've talked about on the podcast before. But other than that.
Like saved is a movie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure It's the one that I tried to describe poorly. This is the, like...
This is the 8th time we've talked about this.
This is just, again, where I just have things wrong. I should probably just search it up.
You probably should.
Well, we don't do that here. So I'm pretty sure it's the one with, like, Kirsten Dunst, and she's, like, highly Christian, and, like, this lady finds out.
That sounds...
Isn't that called Saved?
That sounds like something that would be saved, I don't know. It's not a movie I have ever heard of or seen.
I watched it at work long ago. Normal things to do while at work.
Yeah.
I don't mean to shoot you down.
No.
I think that exists.
I think Saving the Kingdom or something like that, where it does have like a valiant nature to it, but actually it's not that.
I kind of like the idea of saving the princess because you think like, oh yeah, the guy's got it, but actually the quote unquote princess is like saving.
I think it's saving
everybody.
the princess.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because we're subverting princess by having it be a non,
it's not,
blonde white female.
Exactly. It's not the princess.
Yeah.
Of your mind because.
And it's not. We're subverting saving by having it. Them saving themselves rather
and
than
everyone else
being saved by some princely character.
I like of it.
Lord Farquaad ass.
Yeah. I like the idea of it being not saving a single person, but like the idea of princesshood to begin with. Mm-hmm. Just like saving that.
Sort of anti-damsel.
Exactly.
You know? I like this.
Cool.
Saving the princess. It kind of, I said save first.
It's true.
You may have thought of it too.
I did. I did think of it.
We had
I thought
wavelength.
I wasn't sure you'd like it, so I
But as
kept
soon
it
as
to
I
myself.
said saved, you're like, I
was like, wait a minute. That's the idea I had.
That's good.
Podcast is ending. Just our cards are matching up.
We did it. We're really, next episode.
Might be the last.
175.
Hey, that's a good stopping point, I guess.
If we make it to, a landmark number.
Yep.
200, though. Only 25 more after that.
Yeah, it's only like half a year.
We definitely get to next Spooktober with that, too.
Living for that. This year I am living for Spooktober.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I will say, Target had their, like Halloween stuff out in like July or something crazy.
Oh, God.
And you could pre-order it.
Oh, and now harvest dreams can come true.
Exactly. Now I think you can just like outright buy it. But it was literally for pre-order.
They were like, All Hallows Eve.
Did you want this? Do you need something to look forward to? And I was like, yes, Target.
Do you need something to look forward to? Target gets it.
And it's Spooktober.
Guess what? Target, spot on.
Oh yeah, Target slaps.
They get it. They're accurate. Because Arrow. Okay.
Plus, they don't have like a boys' toys and a girls' toys aisle anymore, which I think is really cool.
It's kind of still a little bit.
Well, you can't change the packaging of the companies, but it's cool that, they don't have it as like, here's this and here's this.
I think it's cool that for a long time Lego didn't really... Well, before Lego was kind of like, these are the girls' Legos and these are the... But now they're just kind of like Lego sets.
Yeah, and for the record, I had some of those girls' Legos. The Belleville, because the characters, if you want to call them that, like the figurines were huge in comparison.
Oh, they were massive.
Because they had like joints.
They were like Duplo-ass motherfuckers.
They were huge, but...
to use my most child-safe language. Duplo-ass motherfucker. Okay, who do you want to be in Saving the Princess?
Ooh.
Subjects of the kingdom.
Yeah,
some
probably.
Farmers.
Yeah.
And we're farming and we're like, howdy. There's some.
Are we filling in the sand hole? That's not what it's called.
Sand hole.
Welcome to the sand hole.
I don't know. Yeah, some sort of like mundane.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Worker.
I mean, I gravitate towards like maybe I'm baking something.
Maybe that's the thing. If we're farmers. Getting that wheat with the reaper.
Yeah,
reaping the wheat.
Make that wheat.
Sowing the wheat.
Get that wheat.
I think that's good.
Cool.
Or in the background, hello, adventurer.
Oh, it's the new princess. Ooh.
Oh. Very interesting looking princess.
Ooh.
We're sort of biased.
Not blonde. I'm into it. I'm tired of the blonde ones.
All right. We're in it. That's the Saving the Princess is the title. That's the show. Instant Anime.
Just Add Music.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Sarah.
Wow. We did it.
We did.
Thank you for listening. We have a
Don't know how you made it
Twitter-
this far, but thanks.
174.
Oof.
Is that what we're on? 174?
Yeah. Somehow.
I sometimes count, and like I'm the one like saving the files, but I can't really. When it's over 100, I kind of lost track, you know?
Well, I guess we just have to hit that 200 mark.
Start over, and then I'll be like 200 plus the number. It'll be really easy to track.
We'll see how long we can keep it up.
And if you're here now listening, or if you're here at 200 listening, thank you so much for sticking with us.
Excuse me, you're guaranteeing we get to 200?
I said if. Oh, it was a big if.
Oh, see, I read that as otherwise. You know.
If is good.
If is good. Thanks, Wisney.
Thanks, Dalton.
Dalton Wisney.
Dalton Wisney, Frozen in Ice.
Third?
A million years. See, that'd be a
that's
fun.
what Frozen is about.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah.
In CG.
Secretly.
They're creating him. Frozen 3, it will be a Dalton Wisney
Original.
That's the show. We have a Twitter. It's at Instant Anime Pod, where we post GIFs, sometimes teasing upcoming episodes. Otherwise, we're just retweeting cool creators in the space of anime, of podcasting, of Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
And yeah, that's our Twitter, our only social media. If you find any other Instant Anime accounts out there,
it's fake.
Plus, no one is doing
that.
Does
Redbubble count? That's not social media, though.
It's not social. You can comment on stuff, but
we don't.
That's the merch store. Man, I searched Instant Anime on Spotify just kind of as like a.
Did you regret it immediately?
Ego stroking. There's that one like instant ramen anime.
Every time.
Actually, an anime podcast, whereas we're like basically a storytelling podcast.
Yes.
And
Once upon a time,
all of their episodes are listed before us, essentially. So we lost out on the like Google analytics of that or whatever.
Dang.
But it's also like annoying because if you search like a song title, not every time our episodes show up. So I think Podbean just has like shitty like search, like the feed doesn't really translate to being searchable. So
that's not great.
I feel like that's their fault. I can't fix that.
No.
Unless we ditch Podbean for a sexy new.
I mean,
I'm making my own instant anime app. Download it now.
Okay.
For $2. Just kidding. I'm not doing that. What else do we have besides Twitter?
Well, we, for now at least, have instantannie.may, which redirects you to our Podbean where we host, at least for now.
They're shutting us down.
I know. Like, we're going to get kicked off at this rate. But
we give them our money.
If we're still there, you can find all of our different episodes with clickable links in the description to find the music video or whatever video that has music in it. Hopefully music video. I don't know. I feel
Lovesick by April?
April might have one.
April has videos.
Yeah. So we haven't had one in a while. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh, we haven't had one in so long.
Anyhow, we've got that. We have the suggestion form. And you can also find it at suggest.instantannie.may if you would like to suggest a song for Jimmy and I to turn into an episode. Woo!
Yeah.
We also have podcatchers in the sidebar and our Spotify playlist. If you would like to listen to the songs, the absolute bangers that have been used previously, and if you suggest a song, it ends up on that playlist. And also, if you want to listen to us on Spotify. They're two separate things, but they're both Spotify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got music. We got
Eps.
Anime. We got episodes. That's the show. Last thing would be if you have the time, the patience, the wherewithal,
then the will,
princely spirit,
but not the bad prince,
to write a podcast review or rate us on your favorite podcatcher or mainly Apple Podcasts. That's great. We really appreciate that. Do it for any podcast you listen to. I highly recommend it. I've been trying to go around listening to cool podcasts. One that I can recommend now, after listening to a couple episodes, is The Animatics. 5 awesome women in UK. They listen or they watch a shit ton more anime and read a shit ton more manga than Sarah and I.
Oh yeah.
And it's tough to listen to. For me, 5 hosts is a lot. But they handle it pretty well, and they all have delightful accents.
That's fun.
It's like very charming and fun to listen to. I haven't written the review yet, But they also don't have a lot on their US page because they're in UK. But they have like a few on the UK one
That's
too.
cool.
But I'm planning on doing
And
that.
we'll have to just leave a really terrible review for the instant ramen anime.
Yeah,
Try
one
and
star.
knock that one out.
Fucking ruining our.
1 star. Can't find podcast I actually want.
No, don't do that.
Just kidding.
Leave a 1 star if
Yeah.
you really hate us, though.
Yeah, don't do that to them though. That was a joke. We're not going to do that.
No, I would not.
No, that's terrible. That was purely a joke.
Just because their name is similar to our name.
And they ruin our searches. No, I'm kidding. Again, still just joking.
They have a tight logo, too, whoever made their logo.
I know, it's got like red and
It's
stuff.
so
like,
nice.
They're set.
Shout out to the Instant Ramen.
Yeah, killing it, guys.
They have like 200 episodes, too. They've been doing it pretty, like, I think longer than us now. At this point.
Probably.
But yeah, check out Animatics if you like anime. Check out us.
Hopefully,
If you're listening
have.
to here.
You probably already are ahead.
But yeah, either way, have a good day. Have a good week. See you next week.